Hello and welcome to Graphs Engineering. So in this video we will going to discuss about model and random vibration analysis of girder assembly using ANSYS workbench. So if you see this schematic representing the girder assembly which you will find over the gantry crane, and it consists of various tubes, stiffener plates as well as various section beams. Like here you can see this I section beams, and at the bottom also there are two I sections beams, and these are nothing but your tubes, and here these are the stiffeners. So stiffeners basically hold these tubes together and which connects on the top as well as bottom I section beams. So this girder assembly is subjected to the various vibration scenarios. Like when we talk about random vibration, so it is subjected to various acceleration loads, and there is another scenario like when we talk about seismic. In that case it is also subjected to the ground excitations. So at present we will going to discuss about only the random vibration scenario. So this slide represents the learnings in this video. The very first we will discuss about the problem statement. Then we will go to our actual simulation part, that is ANSYS simulation. And then we will first cover the model analysis. So in that we will see the first like geometry cleanup. So we will prepare a geometry for FEA preparation. Then we will discuss about the contacts, like how to form the auto contacts. Then we will discuss about the meshing as well as boundary condition, and at the last we will discuss about the results of model analysis. So that might be your natural frequency as well as Mohr shapes. Okay, so this we will going to cover in a first part, and in second part we will going to see the random vibration finite element analysis. So there we will see what are the loading conditions. Like as we know that this is mode superposition simulation, so in that case the boundary conditions will going to come from the model analysis, and the loading will be your PSD accelerations, and at the last we will see the results, like what is the stress as well as displacement characteristics for this vibration load. So this slide represents our actual problem definition. So here we need to perform the random vibration analysis and investigate the vibration characteristics of the girder assembly. In this tutorial we will study the displacement and stresses in girder steel assembly due to acceleration spectrum. So very first there are three basic boundary condition, or you can say the conditions for the simulation. The first one is like we need to assume the structural steel as a material. Then second, we need to perform the model analysis, and then third, we need to use this acceleration PSD power spectral density to perform the random vibration analysis, and this spectrum will going to act on a longitudinal axis. So basically you will find that this is nothing but your frequency versus acceleration curve, and you will find this is what the frequency versus acceleration curve. So for this respective curve we need to perform the random vibration simulation. Then this slide represents the actual schematic of your girder assembly. So I just copied this from the internet sources, so you can easily find that. So this is what the actual geometry, and here we will going to only consider the one of the quarter sections. Like we will going to consider only the four sections of this girder assembly, and you know that it is basically mounted on the roller and which is rested through these tubes, and you will find that this is what where it will go into the rest. Okay, and above here also you will find there are few assemblies, I sections, and then there you will find the platform where you will find the live loads. So this is what the actual image of girder assembly. Okay, so what we will do now, we will go to our ANSYS and there we will perform this respective simulation. So before going to ANSYS window, I just wanted to take you through our blog, that is like www.grasphengineering.com. So here you will find that various FEA as well as CAD related topics. So you just have a look on that. So like we had cover FEA basics, advanced, then few design summations. Then you will also find that the 2D as well as 3D exercise in design tabs, then video tutorials, then we also have some quizzes. You just go through that and you will test your FEA knowledge. Okay, and also we started writing the FEA tips, okay, as well as the new releases on the simulation point of view. So you just go through our blogs, you will find that there are various topics which are very useful to increase your FEA knowledge. Okay, so now what we'll do, we will go to our ANSYS and there we'll discuss our present simulations. So this is what our ANSYS window. So here you just need to copy your model analysis and you just need to drag over here. From the analysis system you can drag over here. So I already copied over this and just double click to enter inside the your design modeler. So you can do the geometry cleanup either by design modeler or even by space claim. So whatever the license you have, accordingly you need to work. Okay, the way I already deleted the extra part which is already present over here, and now for these 4 sections we will going to perform the model as well as random vibration simulation. The very first you just need to look into that where you need to simplify the geometry. So I will not go in that much depth because these are like, if you see, these are the solid sections and these are the solid steps. So what we can do now, whenever it is possible, just to extract the mid surface. So like these are like, it seems to be the similar to I section beams, or you can say like the plate section. So what we can do now, for this, hide all other bodies, we will try to extract the mid surface. So let's go to tools and here mid surface. So here either you can do manually, in the sense like just press control button, select first one, select second one and apply, but it will take a lot of time. So that we just go here and automatic, here you just define the minimum as well as maximum thickness, and accordingly if you put here find face pair yes, then it will automatically detect the face pair. Okay, so you can find that it's automatically detected the 12 face pair. So just try to generate that. Now we have generated that the mid surface. So if you see a closer look over here, you will find that now the mid surface are generated, and furthermore you can even see inside this here that the thickness is already assigned automatically. So that is what the advantage of extracting the mid surface. Okay, now the next step is, you will find that though we have extracted the mid surfaces, but still there is a gap. So the next step is to extend that to the adjacent faces. So for that just press, or you can select all the respective edges, press control button and click with your first button of the mouse, and just check furthermore if you haven't selected or any edge is missing. So let's go here inside the tool, and here you will find the option called surface extensions. So there are number of ways we can extract, like you can extract up to faces, surface, or fix. You can even define the distance, but here we will use option called 2next. So let's generate 2next in the sense that it will automatically extend up to the next edges. So now if you see, you will find that this already extended up to the next surfaces. Okay, now once it is done, then you just need to select all this and right click, and you just need to form a new part. So what we can do, we are going to create the connectivity, so there is no need to give the context for this reason. Okay, now the next step is, you need to look into that as these are the solid bodies, so it is difficult to extract the mid surfaces. So, and this is the point where the another assembly will going to connect it through this bolt and through these points. So what we can do now, we will keep this as it is, and these are the bottom resting faces. So what we can do, we can project this. Go to tool, projection, apply, and you just need to select the target where you want to project this. Okay, then furthermore you need to repeat one more time, tool, projection, select all the 4 edges, and furthermore select this face, bottom face, and apply. The purpose of doing this that we will going to provide the constraint at these locations. So once it is done, then let's generate and suppress these bodies because this is not needed. So now you will find that these are the projections which we created now. Okay, so on these projections we will fix this geometry because that is the only connections with the bottom rollers. Okay, now this I already created, suppress this part, so let's hide this, and you just further select all this, and you just need to form, select all, and you can form this a new part. So you will find that this we already formed the new part, but here we will, what we'll do, we will keep the connectivity none. So here if you don't want connections, you want to give contacts, then you can use here none. Then unsuppress part. Okay, now we have created 2 parts. This is first one, these are the for the shell mesh, or you can say the shell part, and the next one is like your solid part. Okay, now this is our geometry cleanup operation is done. We will not go that much further depth because this is quite simple one, only the simple connection is there, so there is no need to do further geometry cleanup. If you want, even you can suppress this part, but just keep it because that will going to provide the extra stiffness at that location. So once it is done, then you need to double click and you need to go to your mechanical. So before that, just double click or engineering data. As we know that our present simulations, the material for the present simulation is structural steel. So ANSYS by default consider material as a structural steel. So if you want to change that, you can change that from the engineering data. Okay, now you can see that our mechanical is refreshing and geometry is already created under the mechanical tab. So what we are talking about, we are talking about the material. So you can find over here structural steel, which is already there by default, and you can even see the characteristics, or you can say the mechanical properties, like what is Young's modulus, what is Poisson's ratio, bulk modulus. Suppose if you want to define the another material, so you just double click over here, go to engineering data, and there here you can write your new material. From here you can use your physical properties, linear elastic properties, or any non-linear properties you can use from here. And furthermore, if you want to use new material from the engineering data source, so you just double click over here, then you just select the materials, whichever the material you want, and accordingly, so like consider if you here click on the general materials, so here you will find there are different materials. Now if you want to add this structural steel is by default added, you can see the symbol. Now if you want to add stainless steel, just click over here, you will find that that is added in the engineering data. Now when you go to further, you will find this stainless steel is already created. Okay, let's suppress this because we are going to use structural steel as a material. Now let's refresh this. It will take some time to refresh the material. Now once refresh is done, then double click and you just need to go to your mechanical. The very first you will find that the geometry and there the material is already assigned. So if you see inside this solid part, you will find structural steel, shell part also you will find the structural steel. Now the next step is to define the connections, which is very important. So here, as we know, it will automatically calculate the auto contacts. So either you can give by manually. So at present you will find there 127 contacts, okay, but it is very difficult. So sometimes what happens, if you have your higher tolerance value, so higher tolerance value in the sense you can find from here, if you have your higher tolerance value, like if I will say that, let's zoom this so that you will get idea on that. Now if you increase your tolerance values, accordingly your this is vice versa, like if you increase or your slider, if you move in left hand and right hand, accordingly you will find that your tolerance value will going to change. Now if we are putting here, it is 50. So at present we saw that there are 127 contacts. So let's put here like 63. So it will be near about 5 mm. Okay, let's for 5 mm let's put about, I will define this as a 5 0. So now you can see that the tolerance value is 5, and let me suppress this. Okay, now I suppress that. Now let's try to generate the automatic contact further. So right click, insert, right click here and create automatic connections. So based on your tolerance value, it will further create the I will directly delete this. Okay, now create automatic connections. Now you can see that based on your tolerance value like 5 mm, it will going to create the contacts. So earlier we saw that there are 127 contacts. Now there are only 52 contacts. So that is what the major role plays. So before creating auto contacts, you just need to look into what is the maximum gap between the two bodies in your assembly. So accordingly you need to define this tolerance value and then you can update the contacts. Okay, so that is what the advantage of this defining this tolerance value and creating the auto connections. Now if you simulate this, then you will find that if your tolerance value is minimum, then you will going to miss few contacts, and then you will find that your natural frequency is 0. So 0 in the sense there will few bodies will going to fly. Okay, so you can experience that. Just reduce this value, just try to simulate, then you will find that if you have few bodies which may have the gap less than your tolerance value, then that bodies or components will going to fly, and you will find this respective natural frequency or mode shapes for that. So as simple as that. First let's measure the value, the maximum gap value, just define that value and then generate the auto contacts. Suppose if you don't want to define the auto contacts, let's suppress this. Now you want to create a manual contact, that can also be possible. So in order to create manual contact, right click over here, insert manual contact region. First define the face. Let's hide this transparency, disable transparency so that you can see when the contacts are created. So let's select all this face and here hide all other values, select these 3 faces, apply. Okay, show all bodies. So now you can see that we have created the first contact. So within first contact, you just select all these faces and you can create the contact. So likewise, you need to create first, second, third, 3 contacts. Furthermore, you need to create here few more contacts. Okay, so this is what the method of creating manual contacts. So let's further change our, let's put it 60, let's increase to 40, or even let's increase to 30. So I'm just keeping this as 10 mm, and then I will delete this further, and I will further create the contact, create automatic connections. Okay, so that is all about your contacts creations. We discuss about the importance of tolerance value. We discuss about how to create manual contact. Now the next step is to define the mesh size. So very first, you just need to check the global setting. So when you click over here, you will find that there are the global settings like adaptive sizing, uniform sizing. So if you want to keep program control, you just keep as it is. Here that physics preference you can select, and here you can define whether you want element order, linear, quadratic, or program control. So the program control by default will create second order elements for the solid body and first order elements for the shell body. So I will just keep as it is. And if you want to define local sizing, so you just need to click sizing, like for a shell part. So here you can select the shell part, like hide all other bodies, select all, and here you can apply. Accordingly, you can define the element size for the shell part. Similarly, you can define sizing for the solid part. Show bodies, hide all other bodies, select all, and apply. So how to define the element size? So that is the questions like most of us will come across while doing the simulation. So for that, the simple answer is just select the here you will find that the edge length is 100 mm. So if you want the 4 elements across this section, then you need to define as a 25 mm sizing. Okay, so this is as simple as that. So if I will generate this, you will find that there minimum it will create the 4 elements. So if you see, like here there are 4 elements are created for the 100 mm. So we had provided 25 mm size, so 100 divided by 25, so 4. So likewise, you can define your element size and then you can mesh the your respective model. So you also need to check your workstation configuration. So accordingly, if you go with finer mesh, it will give you more accurate results, but at the same time it will take the more time. So just check the moderate mesh size and then perform the simulation. So I will just delete this and I will go with the global sizing that I found moderate for present simulations, because I need to get the faster results. This is just for the demonstration. So when you will do the simulation, at that time just try to do the fine or moderate mesh. So once mesh is performed, the next task is to see whether what are the loading and boundary conditions. So as we, let's have a look on the mesh. So now we can see that this is what the moderate mesh which we will going to use for our simulation. Now as we are discussing about the fixed supports, so we have created the patches. So at that patches, let's provide the fixed support. Select this patch, select this patch, select this patch, and select this patch. So we are just assuming that through this patch we know that there are 2 horizontal plates which are connected with this, and there might be the welded connections with that plate, and that plate will going to mount on the 2 pillars which going to be. So let's go to our, and here we are discussing about the actual image. So here you can see the actual image. So here you will find that connections, and these pillars will going to rest on the rollers. So our assumption is that we will going to fix these parts to where the pillar connection is there. You can even fix the whole bottom part, but let's go with the actual realistic scenario. And here we haven't considered this another section. So what we can do now, let's go to our window. So we haven't selected the another part. So what I can do, let's select this face, let's select this another face, let's select this face, and here try to define insert the frictionless support. What does it mean? It means it will restrict all the normal directions constraints. So normally, in the sense, you will find that Z directions, because this as we know that when the structure will be there, it will not going to move in this direction. So that's why we are constraining rotation as well as the translation movement in Z axis. Okay, now try to extract the mode shapes as much. Here the question will come like, how many mode shapes I need to extract. So for that the answer is like, if you go here, you just need to look into your graph, and here the maximum is like, you will find that 60 Hertz. So you just increase more than 60 Hertz. The thumb rule is like you should go with 1.2 to 1.5 times your 60 Hertz. So I will just keep 10 modes, and then I will try to simulate the simulation. So just right click and solve. So let's see how many mode shapes, like we have extracted 10 mode shapes. So how many, or you can say, instead of saying how many, we can say that up to what frequency it will give us the excitation. So let's say like for 10 Hertz, if it is more than 60, then there is no need to further increasing your mode shapes. So now if you see that our simulation is performed, and these are like mode shapes, you will find that we have extracted the 10 mode shapes. But if you see that only the 10th mode shape have some frequency, that is 9.57, and before all the mode shapes like 1 to 9, you will find that the frequency is almost 0 degree or 0 Hertz. So let me extract this 7, create mode shapes, and let's try to right click evaluate. So all 10 mode shapes you will find that, and you can see that which are the flying modes. So like here you can see that these are the flying modes. So if you zoom this, you will come to know which exactly it is. Okay, so if you remember, we discussed about the auto contacts. When you create the auto contacts, you will find that based on your tolerance values, it will going to act. So right now you just need to increase the tolerance value so that this contact will going to be close. So I will always suggest that though you have created auto contacts, it is the best practice. You can see, you can visually check the contacts and then cross check with the auto contacts, or simply delete all the auto contacts and then create the manuals when you have a big assemblies. For shorter assembly it is okay, because sometimes if you increase this tolerance value also, like if I will make it 0, if you go 20, it will create the over constraints. Over constraints some means like, suppose if you have this topmost body and bottommost body having gap of 20 mm, so in that case it will create contacts between this body also, as well as it will create contact between this and this bodies also. So likewise there will be the problem of auto contact. So that's why I simulated this, though I know the things. Okay, now what we can do now, either you can increase the tolerance value, or simply because these parts belongs to the another assembly, so what we can do, we will just suppress this, because if you see here there is huge gaps is there between this. So I will suppress, yes, and we will give this frictionless contact to these bodies. Okay, apply, and this body will have a contact with these plates on either sides. So let's try to simulate now further. Okay, so likewise you need to cross check the contacts. Accordingly you can cross check whether you are getting the first frequencies, some figure like here we have 9. Now if you see the 10th frequency, which is the actual global mode, okay, so you should get this frequency, the first one, then you can move accordingly. So let's try to clear all the results. So as we know that we need to extract the natural frequency up to 60 Hertz. So in that case there is another alternative. Like if you see in analysis setting, there is one option called limit search range. So here you just keep yes, and here you can define the minimum and maximum range. So like here we will define, we need to extract up to we have spectrum up to 60, so we need to extract up to 62. So and here you can define what are the maximum modes you want to give, like 20. So what it will do, it will extract the mode shapes up to this much frequency only. Okay, so this is what the best way. If you are not aware of that how many node shapes you need to extract, so just keep this as it is and then try to simulate the simulation. So let's solve this. It will take some time to give the results. Now if you see that our model analysis simulation is performed, and you can see that the table at the bottom, like we have extracted the frequency extracted is 14. So if you remember, we had given the 20 modes to extract, but here we had given the range, so that's why it extracted only 14 frequency. So likewise you can reduce your solution time by defining the range. So neither it could have taken more time to solve the 20 frequencies. Okay, now if you see the results, like the first mode shift, you will find that what is the output. The question will come into your mind, what is the output of your model analysis? So there are so many things. The first one is like you will get the mode shapes as well as you will get the frequency, which is nothing but the natural frequency. The mode shape which represent that in which direction your structure is moving. So if you see this, the first mode shape is indicating that your frequency is your structure is moving in X direction at a frequency of 10 Hertz. The another outputs, if you go to solution information and if you go to the table at the bottom, you will find that it will gives you a lot of information. The information like the frequency, period, participation fraction, effective mass, total effective mass. So basically this mass represent that it is basically for the X direction. So it represent that your 92% mass is capture for the X direction up to the 14 Hertz frequency, and the maximum mass is like the first mode shape. So what we saw that at 10 Hertz the mass participation is 0.48. So you can say that 48% mass at the 10 Hertz. So likewise this information is useful for you if you are going across the resonance issue. In that case, based on this mass and frequency, you can easily steepen your structure. Okay, so like for the furthermore discussion on model analysis, you just have a look on our another video where we explain the outputs of model analysis as well as the importance of that. So you just have a look on that. Just click on the below description link as well as click on the video on the top. There you will find that the more description on the outputs of model analysis. Okay, so now let's check furthermore few more modes, like these are the deviations. You will find that okay, 10, and then further we'll extract, right click, create mode shape, evaluate all results. So now you can see that 11 also you will find that inside stiffeners vibrations. So if you animate that, you will come to know. Okay, So these are nothing but the primary behavior, or you can say the primary analysis of your vibration simulations, right? So let's go furthermore on the table. Like for x-axis we have extracted up to 92% mass, for y-axis 46, and for z-axis there is no mass because vertical one. So you can even furthermore play. If you extract furthermore frequency, then you are able to extract the furthermore mass. Okay, but at present, as we know that our spectrum will going to act up to 60 Hz, so we just went with that 60 Hz. And in random vibration you can even define the result response to capture the remaining masses. So that's it for the first part. So in first part we discuss a lot, like how to do a geometry cleanup, like the contact creation, the importance of auto contacts, how to tackle the auto contacts, then the meshing, as well as boundary conditions, how to define the boundary condition based on your actual erections conditions. Then we discuss about the how to define the analysis setting, like how to define the frequency range. Then we extracted the mode shapes, we discuss about the mass participation. Now in next video we discuss about the random analysis simulation. So thank you guys. So before closing this, I will insist you to please subscribe as well as like our videos, so that it will go on the high on the search engine, so that most of the beneficiary or viewers who are expecting the free videos, they can have a benefits of our videos, or they can increase their knowledge with our video tutorial. So please subscribe and don't forget to like our videos. So thank you for your time. Let's meet on the next video.